All right, we begin with a huge shout out to my biggest fan of all. He's back. Former President Barack Obama. We might actually have that beer finally. I'm not quite sure why he's still obsessed with me, but today during his first speech in quite a while, Barack once again mentioned me. I'm not exactly sure why. Take a look.
The researchers paid a large group of regular Fox News watchers to watch CNN for almost a month. And these were not swing voters. These were hardcore, Hannity, Carlson fans, right? They're right there. On some of these issues, their views had changed by 5, 8, 10 points. These people didn't suddenly turn into liberals. I'm sure they still don't like me. But at the margins, they had reshaped their perspectives in meaningful ways.
By the way, President Obama, we don't hate you. You're just a horrible president, and your policies are awful. It's that simple. Obama now is talking about a study. It was conducted by two, obviously, in my view, guessing, liberal college professors, one from Berkeley and one from Yale. Odds are pretty high I'm right. They paid Fox viewers to watch CNN for an entire month. I doubt it was a fair and balanced study, but it sounds like torture. Of course, one big difference between fake news, CNN, and Fox is we don't have to pay people to watch this channel. They actually choose, and we work hard to earn your viewership. In fact, according to key demo data from Nielsen, more Democrats actually watch Fox News than CNN, fake news, or MSDNC. Even Barack Obama himself seems to continue to be a loyal Fox viewer. After all, little old me and this network have been on his mind for years, and we've got the tape to prove it. Take a look.
I'll put Mr. Burgess up against Sean Hannity. He'll tear him up.
I mean, look, is Sean Hannity suddenly going to get on the airwaves and say, I was wrong about this Obama guy. He's my man. No, that's not going to happen. I think that there's a certain segment of hardcore Sean Hannity fans that probably wouldn't want to go have a beer with me. There's no doubt about that.
With respect to Sean Hannity, I didn't know that he had invited me for a beer. His opinion of me does not seem to be very high, but I'm always good for a beer.
I wasn't viewed through this prism of Fox News and conservative media and making me scary.
And I haven't, turned on Fox News or listened to conservative talk radio yet today, but I've turned them on enough over these past 7.5 years to know I'm not exaggerating in terms of their story.
Look, if I watched Fox News, I wouldn't vote for me either, right? Because, you've got this screen, this funhouse mirror through which people are receiving information.
Perfect night to go back and reach back into that the vault and bring out some of these old tapes. Now, we did reach out to former President Obama. I did invite him on this program. It's an open invitation, Mr. President, any night of the week. You can have the full hour. We'll even have beer during the show if you like. I'll pay for it. I know socialists like free stuff. So, if that's an incentive for you, I will pay for everything. I'll even pay for a steak dinner after. Obama is now on a mission to combat, he says, misinformation and disinformation. And this network has the largest reach of any other outlet. So I'm sure that our viewers would love to hear his take on Hunter Biden's very real laptop and the very real money the Biden family made by selling out the Obama White House. And I'm sure they'd love to hear Barack's take on why the media mob breathlessly pushed Hillary Clinton's dirty misinformation dossier and the Russia collusion hoax for years. We got it right. They got it wrong. I was right about Obama's radical associations. He didn't want to hear it. I'm sure they'd love to hear his take on disinformation surrounding Justice Kavanaugh, the verbal assault and slander and smearing of Nicholas Sandmann, the mostly peaceful, violent riots during the summer of 2020, 574 of them, Kyle Rittenhouse's Hands Up, Don't Shoot, Duke Lacrosse, UVA, Freddie Gray, Baltimore, the Cambridge police acting stupidly. And while we're at it, President Obama, why don't you tell us how you really feel about our current president, Joe Biden? Because according to Politico, hardly the vast right-wing conspiracy. You encouraged Biden not to run. You didn't want him to run. Wonder what you knew that maybe other people knew, that maybe you cared more about him than others. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Obama once even reportedly said, quote, "Don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up." And of course, Obama doesn't want to answer any of these questions. That's because he's not really interested in battling disinformation. Instead, as he said today, he wants to reshape your perspective. In other words, he wants all of you to be far left-wing, New Green Deal Democratic socialists like him. Luckily, the American people are more intelligent than Obama realizes, which is probably why the brand new effort of fake news CNN called CNN Plus was such a massive failure. Now, as you know, the network's ratings are pathetically low, and that's the free CNN that you get with your cable channels. And yet, fake news CNN still spent $300 million on a brand new streaming platform that viewers could only access with a paid subscription. Okay, naturally, predictably, no one subscribed, pretty much no one. And now CNN Plus is officially dead. Now, this $300 million waste of money lasted all of 33 days. As many Twitter users rightly pointed out, a gallon of milk, de Blasio's presidential aspirations, Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, and Seattle's summer of love all lasted longer than fake news CNN Plus. And apparently Americans were not willing to fork over $3 whole for a daily dose of Humpty Dumpty or the occasional interview from liberal swamp creature Chris Wallace. Apparently, as it is, Americans get more than enough fake news. If they're not watching the regular channel, why are they going to pay for an extra channel? Anyway, they get all the conspiracy theories and vitriol they want from both fake news CNN and MSDNC 24 hours a day. Look at our old friend Nicole Wallace, for example. Spent much of her life pretending to be a Republican. She actually helped run John McCain and Sarah Palin's presidential run. She now gets paid by MSDNC, and she pretty much spends every show smearing Republicans. I'm fine. I believe in free speech. That's okay. Now, today she actually compared Governor DeSantis and Governor Youngkin to Russian soldiers raping children. We have those comments. We'll play them coming up later in the show. Now, I asked Lester Holt, Chuck Todd, Chucky, do you condone this kind of rhetoric? Do you feel good about that kind of rhetoric? Is that the kind of news you support? Do you support your colleagues? Do you support Rachel Maddow's conspiracy theories? And not to be outdone, one guest on one of these shows that are low-rated over there compared, I guess, Jesus to a groomer. Really? Take a look.
The entire message of the Gospels of the Easter holidays was love one another. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If Jesus Christ was alive today, he would be called a groomer, he would be called woke, and he would be called a socialist if he was alive today.
No pushback, an assault on Christianity, a false narrative on Christianity. Pretty disgusting, pretty bigoted. Not a word. We absolutely in this country, as I said, have an information crisis. I predicted it, said it in 2007. I've been more right than I thought I'd ever be. Journalism is dead, buried, and it has been for quite some time. The echo chamber and the media mob, they are unyielding. And yet Obama, other Democrats think that Fox News is to blame. If they truly want to battle misinformation, I suggest they start at home. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.